These 5 rules are not suggestions, productivity hacks, or motivational tips. They are structural principles that govern how any human system, whether personal, professional, or digital, actually functions when efficiency, clarity, and consistent results are the goals. Ignoring them is not a neutral choice. It's a direct cause of friction, wasted effort, and recurring failure disguised as bad luck or external circumstances. The first rule operates at the level of input control. You cannot expect clean, reliable outputs if your inputs are chaotic, unfiltered, or emotionally reactive. This is not philosophy. It's systems engineering applied to human behavior. Every action, decision, or result you generate is downstream from what you allow into your attention, environment, and mental processing space. Garbage in equals garbage out, but precision in equals precision out. The second rule addresses energy allocation, not time management. Time is fixed. Energy is fluid. You can schedule 8 hours of work, but if your biological, emotional, and cognitive energy is depleted or misdirected, those hours produce nothing of value. This rule forces you to audit where your energy actually goes versus where you think it should go, and reallocate based on evidence, not intention. The third rule is about constraint-driven creation, the counterintuitive truth that unlimited options paralyze performance. When you remove artificial freedom and impose intelligent boundaries on tools, on decisions, on communication channels, you activate focused execution. This is why elite performers and high-output systems thrive under strict protocols, not open-ended flexibility. The fourth rule governs feedback velocity, the speed and accuracy with which you receive, interpret, and act on real-world signals determines how fast you improve. Delayed, vague, or filtered feedback creates illusionary progress. Real progress requires raw, frequent, unvarnished data from the environment, even when it's uncomfortable or contradicts your assumptions. The fifth rule is structural integrity, the alignment between your stated goals and your actual daily behaviors. Most failure is not due to lack of knowledge or effort, but due to invisible misalignment. You say you want growth, but your routines reward comfort. You say you want clarity, but your environment is cluttered with distractions. This rule forces brutal honesty about what your actions actually reinforce, not what you claim to want. These rules are not sequential steps, they are interdependent layers. Violate one and the others degrade. Master one and the others become easier to implement. They form a closed-loop operating system for human effectiveness, not a motivational checklist. They work whether you believe in them or not, because they reflect how reality actually functions, not how we wish it would. The reason most people never encounter these rules in their pure form is because they're buried under layers of superficial advice. Wake up at 5 a.m. Use this app. Follow this guru. But tools and tactics are meaningless without the underlying architecture. These 5 rules are that architecture. They are the skeleton beneath the skin of every high-performing individual or system. Applying them does not require buying anything, joining anything, or changing your identity. It requires measurement, adjustment, and ruthless prioritization. You don't need more motivation, you need better structure. You don't need more hours. You need higher fidelity energy. You don't need more options, you need tighter constraints that force excellence. If you've ever felt stuck despite working hard, confused despite consuming endless content, or frustrated despite doing everything right, it's not you. It's the absence of these 5 structural rules. Rebuild your system around them and everything else, productivity, focus, results, peace, falls into place as a natural consequence, not a forced outcome. Input control is the foundational layer of all human performance, because every thought, decision, emotion, and action you produce is a direct derivative of what you consume, observe, and allow into your cognitive space. You cannot generate clarity from noise, calm from chaos, or quality from low-resolution stimuli. Your brain is an input-output machine, and garbage in always equals garbage out. Most people treat their attention like an open sewer, letting headlines, notifications, opinions, and emotional triggers flood in without filtration. Then they wonder why they feel scattered, reactive, or mentally exhausted. Input control is not about isolation, it's about curation. It's the deliberate act of choosing what deserves access to your neural real estate and what must be blocked, delayed, or deleted. This rule applies to information, people, environments, and even internal dialogue. If you consume fear-based media, you will generate anxiety-driven decisions. If you surround yourself with complacent peers, you will normalize underperformance. If your workspace is cluttered and reactive, your output will be fragmented and shallow. Input shapes identity, and identity shapes action. The practical implementation of input control starts with audit, not optimization. Before you try to improve your inputs, you must first measure what they actually are. Track for 72 hours. What media do you consume? Who do you speak to? What environments do you operate in? What thoughts dominate your internal monologue? You'll be shocked by the volume of low-value, high-cost inputs you tolerate daily. Once audited, categorize inputs into 3 tiers. Essential, directly fuels your goals. Neutral, no measurable impact. And toxic, drains energy, distorts perception, triggers reactivity. Your goal is not to eliminate all neutral inputs, that's impossible and unnecessary, but to ruthlessly minimize toxic inputs and maximize essential ones. This is not minimalism, it's strategic filtration. Digital input is the most neglected and damaging category. Notifications, infinite scroll, algorithm-driven content, and reactive messaging are not tools. They are slot machines designed to hijack your dopamine and fragment your focus. Turning them off is not extreme. It's basic hygiene. You wouldn't drink contaminated water and then wonder why you're sick. Yet you consume contaminated information and wonder why you're unfocused. Human input, the people you interact with, is equally critical. Energy is contagious. If you spend hours with chronic complainers, drama generators, or passive observers, their mental models become yours. Slowly, invisibly, irreversibly. You don't need to cut people off, but you must consciously manage exposure. Limit duration, set boundaries, redirect conversations. Protect your mental ecosystem. Environmental input, your physical and sensory surroundings, directly modulates cognitive function. Clutter triggers cognitive load. Noise triggers stress hormones. Poor lighting triggers fatigue. A chaotic desk isn't lived in. It's a cognitive tax. Optimizing environment isn't aesthetic. It's neurological. Reduce visual noise, control auditory stimuli, introduce natural elements. Your environment should support focus, not fight it. Internal input, your self-talk, beliefs, and mental narratives, is the most powerful and least managed layer. Negative self-commentary, catastrophic forecasting, and identity-limiting statements, "I'm just not good at this," are toxic inputs you generate yourself. They must be identified, challenged, and replaced, not with positive thinking, but with evidence-based, reality-grounded statements that reflect actual capability and progress. Input control is not a one-time setup. It's a continuous filtration system. The world will always try to flood you with noise. Your job is to build and maintain the dam. Review your inputs weekly. Prune toxic sources. Upgrade essential ones. Automate filtration. Mute, block, unsubscribe, schedule. Your output, your work, your mood, your results will transform not because you tried harder, but because you stopped letting poison in. Time management is a myth because time is fixed, universal, and non-negotiable. You cannot create more of it, store it, or control its flow. What you can control and what actually determines your output is energy allocation. Energy is fluid, renewable, and directional. Where you point it, when you deploy it, and how you replenish it, that's what separates high performers from exhausted strivers. Most people schedule tasks by calendar slots, 9 to 10 a.m., emails, 10 to 12, project work, etc., without considering whether their biological, emotional, or cognitive energy is aligned with the demand of the task. Writing a strategic plan at 3 p.m. when your brain is fried is not discipline. It's inefficiency disguised as structure. Energy-aware scheduling means matching task type to energy state, not forcing mismatched pairings. Human energy operates in cycles, ultradian rhythms of 90 to 120 minutes of peak focus, followed by 20 to 30 minutes of recovery. Ignoring these cycles and pushing through fatigue doesn't make you tough. It makes you stupid. It degrades decision quality, increases error rates, and accumulates cognitive debt. Strategic rest is not laziness, it's performance engineering. Schedule recovery like you schedule meetings because it's just as critical. Energy sources are not abstract. They are physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. Physical energy comes from sleep, nutrition, movement. Emotional energy from safety, connection, and autonomy. Mental energy from focus, novelty, and challenge. Spiritual energy from purpose, alignment, and contribution. Neglect anyone, and the entire system degrades. You can't power through on caffeine if your emotional energy is drained by unresolved conflict. Audit your energy leaks, not your time leaks. Where does your energy go involuntarily? Endless scrolling? Gossip? Over-explaining? Apologizing for existing? Rehashing past conversations? These are not time wasters. They are energy vampires. They drain your capacity without delivering value. Identify them, measure their cost, and design barriers to block them, not with willpower but with environmental design. Energy allocation requires ruthless prioritization, not of tasks, but of energy investments. Ask, what activity, if done with full energy, would create the most leverage? Then protect that time slot like it's a surgical procedure. Don't start your day with email. Start with your highest leverage, highest energy task. Email can wait, momentum cannot. Energy compounds when directed, it dissipates when scattered. Recovery is not optional, it's part of the work. Sleep is not downtime, it's cognitive maintenance. Walking is not a break, it's neural recalibration. Silence is not emptiness, it's signal processing. High performers don't rest when they're tired. They rest strategically to prevent fatigue. They schedule downtime like elite athletes schedule recovery, because mental performance is athletic performance. Energy is contagious and corrosive. Spending time with energy-draining people, chronic victims, perpetual critics, passive observers, is like plugging your battery into a broken charger. You lose charge faster than you gain it. Protect your energy field. Limit exposure. Redirect conversations. Exit loops. Your energy is your most valuable asset. Treat intrusions like theft. The myth of hustle culture is that exhaustion equals virtue. It doesn't. Exhaustion equals diminishing returns, degraded judgment, and burnout. Sustainable performance is not about pushing harder, it's about recovering smarter. Measure your energy output not by hours worked, but by quality produced per unit of energy invested. Efficiency is energy ROI, not time logged. Start tomorrow not with a to-do list, but with an energy map. Block your peak energy window for your most important task. Schedule recovery after every 90 minutes. Eliminate one energy vampire. Protect your first 90 minutes from reactive inputs. Track your energy levels hourly for 3 days. You'll discover that you don't need more time, you need better energy deployment. And that changes everything. The modern myth is that more freedom equals more creativity, productivity, and happiness. The reality is the opposite. Unlimited choice creates paralysis, anxiety, and diluted effort. Constraints are not limitations, they are focusing lenses. They eliminate noise, force prioritization, and activate resourcefulness. The most innovative, productive, and focused people and systems thrive under intelligent constraints, not open-ended freedom. This is not theory, it's observable in every high-performance domain. Writers produce better work under word limits. Designers create sharper visuals under style guides. Athletes perform better under strict playbooks. Startups innovate faster under resource scarcity. Constraints remove the burden of infinite possibility and replace it with the clarity of bounded execution. They turn "what should I do?" into "how do I make this work?" Digital overload is the ultimate unconstrained environment. Infinite tabs, apps, notifications, and content streams. The result? Chronic distraction, shallow work, and decision fatigue. The solution is not better focus. It's artificial constraint. Delete apps, block sites, use single-task tools, limit devices, force yourself into narrow channels because open oceans drown amateurs. Constraints create depth. Decision fatigue is a direct product of unbounded choice. Choosing what to eat, where, watch, reply to, or work on consumes cognitive energy, energy that should be reserved for high-leverage thinking. Reduce decisions by creating defaults, routines, and rules. Wear the same outfit. Eat the same breakfast. Use the same tools. Automate the trivial so you can focus on the essential. Constraints conserve energy. Creative work flourishes under boundaries, not in spite of them. Poetry uses meter and rhyme. Music uses scales and time signatures. Architecture uses physics and materials. Without constraints, creativity drifts into chaos. Give yourself a box, then figure out how to build something remarkable inside it. The tighter the box, the more inventive the solution. Constraints breed ingenuity. Implement constraint layers systematically. Tool constraints. Use only 3 core apps. Time constraints. 90-minute sprints. Input constraints. 1 book, 1 podcast, 1 channel per week. Output constraints. 1 deliverable per day. Each constraint removes a layer of noise and adds a layer of focus. You're not limiting yourself, you're upgrading your signal-to-noise ratio. The fear behind resistance to constraints is the illusion of loss. What if I miss something? The reality is that unconstrained systems miss everything, because they skim the surface of everything and master nothing. Constraints force depth. Depth creates mastery. Mastery creates value. You don't need access to everything, you need excellence in one thing. Constraints make that possible. Constraints must be designed, not imposed randomly. Bad constraints frustrate. Good constraints liberate. Ask, what constraint, if applied, would force me to focus on what actually matters? Then test it for 72 hours. Did it reduce noise? Did it increase output quality? Did it lower stress? If yes, keep it. If no, redesign it. Constraints are experiments, not prisons. Social and cultural pressure glorifies options. But options are the enemy of execution. Saying yes to everything is saying no to excellence. Use constraint as a filter. Does this align with my current priority? If not, it's a no. Not forever, just for now. Constraints create temporary focus, which creates permanent results. You can expand later, but only after you've mastered the narrow path. Start small, but start today. Choose one area, tools, time, inputs, or outputs, and apply one intelligent constraint. Remove one app. Block one site. Limit one decision. Measure the effect. You'll discover that freedom was never the goal, focus was. And focus is born from constraint. Not from abundance. Not from options. From intelligent, deliberate limitation that forces excellence. Feedback velocity, the speed, accuracy, and frequency with which you receive real-world signals about your actions, is the engine of all real progress. Slow, vague, or filtered feedback creates the illusion of movement without actual improvement. Fast, raw, unfiltered feedback, even when uncomfortable, is the only path to rapid adaptation, correction, and mastery. Delayed feedback is deception. Most people operate in feedback vacuums. They act, wait weeks or months for results, then try to interpret what worked or didn't, often through layers of bias, emotion, or external noise. By then, the signal is lost. High performers close the loop immediately. They design systems that generate feedback within minutes or hours, not weeks. They treat feedback like oxygen, not dessert. Feedback must be raw, not curated. If you only listen to praise, you reinforce mediocrity. If you filter criticism, you blind yourself to blind spots. Seek feedback that contradicts you. Invite disagreement. Reward honesty. Punish flattery. Your goal is not to feel good. It's to see reality clearly. Raw feedback is uncomfortable, but it's the only kind that changes behavior. Digital work is especially vulnerable to feedback distortion. Likes, shares, and views are vanity metrics. They tell you nothing about real value, impact, or skill. Build feedback systems based on direct outcomes. Did the client renew? Did the code ship without bugs? Did the student understand? Did the reader take action? Measure what matters, not what's easy to count. Personal growth without feedback is self-deception. Journaling without review, goals without tracking, habits without measurement. These are rituals, not systems. Build feedback into every behavior. Track daily. Compare weekly. Adjust monthly. If you can't measure it, you can't improve it. Feedback turns intention into evidence, and evidence into action. The enemy of feedback velocity is ego, the need to be right, to look competent, to avoid discomfort.
Ego delays feedback.
It filters it. It denies it. Kill the ego not with self-hatred, but with curiosity. Treat every failure, criticism, or unexpected result as data, not judgment. Ask, what does this reveal? Not who's to blame. Feedback is information, not identity. Design feedback loops into your environment. Set up automated trackers. Use accountability partners. Schedule weekly reviews. Create public commitments. Build systems that force feedback even when you don't want it. The best systems don't rely on willpower, they rely on structure. Structure delivers feedback, whether you're ready or not. Speed matters more than perfection. A 70% accurate feedback signal received today is more valuable than a 95% accurate signal received next month.
Rapid iteration bets dieleyet perfection.
Test small. Measure fast. Adjust immediately. Repeat. Feedback velocity turns learning from a lecture into a lab, where every experiment generates usable data. Feedback must be specific, not vague. Good job is noise. You reduced onboarding time by 40% by simplifying step 3. Do more of that is signal. Train yourself and others to give precise, observable, actionable feedback. Remove adjectives. Focus on behaviors, outputs, and measurable changes. Specificity turns feedback into instruction. Start tomorrow by installing one high-velocity feedback loop. Pick one task. Define one measurable outcome. Set one checkpoint within 24 hours. Review. Adjust. Repeat. You'll discover that progress isn't mysterious. It's mechanical. Fast feedback turns confusion into clarity, effort into results, and repetition into mastery. Slow feedback is the luxury of amateurs. Velocity is the weapon of professionals. Structural integrity is the silent killer of goals, or their silent enabler. It refers to the alignment between what you say you want and what your daily behaviors, environment, and systems actually reinforce. Most failure is not from lack of effort or knowledge. It's from invisible misalignment. You say you want focus, but your phone buzzes every 3 minutes. You say you want growth, but your calendar rewards maintenance. Alignment is architecture. Motivation is decoration. Motivation is unreliable, it's emotional, temporary, and reactive. Structure is reliable, it's systematic, repeatable, and environmental. You don't need to feel like it. You need to design systems that make the right action the default action. Structural integrity means your environment, routines, and tools are engineered to support your goals, not fight them. Behavior follows design, not intention. Audit your structural gaps. What does your calendar prioritize? What does your browser history reveal? What does your bank statement show? What do your unread messages indicate? These are not judgments, they are data points. They reveal what you actually value, not what you claim to value. Structural integrity starts with brutal honesty, not positive thinking. Environment is the most powerful structural layer. If your desk is cluttered, your mind will be too. If your phone is visible, your focus will fracture. If your pantry is full of junk, your body will suffer. You cannot outwill a broken environment. Redesign it. Remove friction from good behaviors. Add friction to bad ones. Make excellence easy and distraction hard. Structure shapes behavior. Silently, constantly, irreversibly. Routines are structural contracts with your future self. A routine that starts with email trains you to be reactive. A routine that starts with deep work trains you to be generative. You don't find time for what matters. You design routines that protect it. Review your morning, work, and evening routines. Do they align with your stated goals? If not, rebuild them. One block at a time. Tools should enforce structure, not enable chaos. If your note-taking app lets you create infinite disorganized notes, it's working against you. If your task manager lets you pile on 200 items, it's lying to you. Choose tools that impose intelligent constraints, force prioritization, and reduce cognitive load. Tools are not neutral, they are structural extensions of your mind. Choose ones that build integrity, not noise. Social structure matters: who you spend time with, what conversations you allow, what norms you accept. If your peer group normalizes procrastination, your goals will feel alien. If your team rewards busyness over outcomes, your focus will degrade. You don't need to leave your environment, but you must consciously design your exposure within it. Protect your structural integrity like a firewall. Measurement is structural accountability. What you measure gets managed. What you don't measure gets ignored. Install simple, visible trackers for your core goals, not complex dashboards. A single number on a sticky note. A daily checkmark. Public log. Make progress visible because visibility creates accountability. Structure without measurement is wishful thinking. Structural integrity is maintained through weekly reviews, not annual resolutions. Every 7 days, ask, did my environment, routines, and tools support my goals or sabotage them? Adjust one thing. Remove one friction point. Add one support. Small structural tweaks compound into massive behavioral shifts. You don't need overhaul, you need continuous calibration. Stop waiting to feel motivated. Start designing structure. Motivation is a passenger, structure is the vehicle. When your environment, routines, and systems are aligned with your goals, action becomes automatic, not heroic. You don't need more willpower, you need better architecture. Structural integrity turns intention into inevitability. And that's how lasting change actually happens. These 5 rules are not standalone tips. They form a closed-loop operating system for human effectiveness. Violate one and the others degrade. Master one and the others become easier to implement. They are interdependent layers, not isolated tactics. Input control feeds energy allocation. Energy allocation enables constraint-driven creation. Constraints accelerate feedback velocity. Feedback velocity informs structural integrity. Integrity reinforces input quality. It's a cycle, not a list. The system fails when treated as a buffet. I'll try Rule 3 today, skip Rule 2, revisit Rule 5 later. That's not how systems work. Systems require coherence. You can't have clean inputs but ignore energy cycles. You can't impose constraints but avoid feedback. You can't seek alignment but tolerate toxic environments. The rules are protocols, not options. They work together or not at all. The entry point is always input control because everything else depends on signal quality. If your inputs are noisy, your energy will be scattered, your constraints will feel oppressive, your feedback will be distorted, and your structure will be misaligned. Start by auditing and filtering inputs, then the other layers become manageable. Garbage in corrupts the entire system. Energy allocation is the fuel layer. It determines whether the system runs at peak capacity or sputters under load. Even with perfect inputs and constraints, if your energy is misallocated, burned on low-leverage tasks, drained by toxic interactions, or depleted by poor recovery, the system stalls. Energy is the currency, spend it wisely or the system collapses. Constraint-driven creation is the focusing lens. It turns energy into directed force. Without constraints, energy dissipates. With intelligent constraints, energy compounds. Constraints don't restrict, they channel. They convert potential into kinetic output. They turn "I'm busy" into "I'm producing." They are the difference between motion and progress. Feedback velocity is the correction mechanism. It ensures the system adapts in real time. Without fast, raw feedback, you fly blind. You repeat mistakes. You optimize the wrong things. You celebrate vanity metrics. Feedback turns effort into learning, and learning into leverage. It's the compass that keeps the system oriented toward reality, not ego or assumption. Structural integrity is the backbone. It holds the system together under pressure. When motivation fades, structure remains. When distraction calls, structure resists. When chaos rises, structure endures. It's the architecture that makes the other rules sustainable, not situational. Without structural integrity, the system collapses under its own weight. The system is self-reinforcing, each rule strengthens the others. Clean inputs preserve energy. Preserved energy enables tighter constraints. Tighter constraints accelerate feedback. Accelerated feedback informs better structure. Better structure filters inputs. The loop tightens. Performance compounds. Mastery emerges. You don't do the system, you become the system. Installing the system takes 30 days, not 30 years. Start with one rule. Master its application in one area. Then layer in the next. Don't try to overhaul everything at once. System change is iterative, not revolutionary. Week 1, audit inputs. Week 2, map energy. Week 3, apply one constraint. Week 4, install one feedback loop. Week 5, align one structure. Repeat. Compound. This is not a productivity hack. It's an operating system for reality. It works whether you're an artist, entrepreneur, student, parent, or athlete, because it's based on how humans actually function, not how gurus wish they would. It doesn't require talent, privilege, or luck. It requires awareness, design, and consistency. Build the system and let it run. You'll be shocked by what it produces. Implementation begins not with action, but with measurement. You cannot improve what you don't measure. For the next 72 hours, track only one thing, your inputs. What enters your eyes, ears, and mind. Categorize them: essential, neutral, toxic. Don't change anything yet, just observe. Awareness precedes control. Data precedes design. On day 4, eliminate one toxic input. Not all, one. The most obvious, most draining, most unnecessary. Delete the app. Mute the channel. Avoid the person. Block the site. Replace it with nothing or with one essential input. Don't add, subtract. Reduction creates space. Space creates clarity. Clarity creates action. Map your energy for 3 days. Hour by hour, rate your focus, mood, and output quality. Identify your peak windows. Protect them. Schedule nothing else during them. Guard them like surgery. Your peak energy is your most valuable asset. Stop auctioning it off to distractions, meetings, or low-leverage tasks. Energy is not renewable on demand. It's cyclical. Respect the cycle. Apply one constraint in tools, time, or tasks. Use only one app for writing. Work in 90-minute blocks. Limit decisions by creating defaults. Constraints are experiments, not vows. Test for 72 hours. Did output quality increase? Did stress decrease? If yes, keep it. If no, adjust. Constraints should liberate, not suffocate. Install one high-velocity feedback loop. Define one outcome. Measure it within 24 hours. Review. Adjust. Repeat. Feedback is not criticism, it's calibration. The faster you close the loop, the faster you learn. The faster you learn, the faster you improve. Velocity beats volume. Speed beats perfection. Raw beats polished. Audit one structural misalignment. What's one daily behavior that contradicts your stated goal? Fix it not with willpower but with environmental design. Make the right action easier. Make the wrong action harder. Structure beats motivation. Every time. Don't fight yourself, redesign your environment. Review weekly every 7 days. What worked? What failed? What needs adjustment? Tweak one input. Rebalance one energy block. Tighten one constraint. Refine one feedback loop. Strengthen one structural element. Small, consistent adjustments compound into massive transformation. You don't need overhaul, you need iteration. This is not a 30-day challenge. It's a permanent operating system. You won't finish it. You'll evolve it. As your goals change, your inputs, energy, constraints, feedback, and structure must adapt. The system is alive, not static. Maintain it like you maintain your health, continuously, consciously, compassionately. If this resonated, if it clarified what you've been feeling but couldn't name, then you're ready. Not ready to try harder. Ready to build smarter. Ready to stop fighting yourself and start designing your environment, energy, and systems to work for you, not against you. The tools are here. The rules are simple. The results are inevitable. If this added value to your thinking, do 3 things right now. Like this video, it helps the algorithm prioritize real, deep content over fluff. Subscribe because we're just getting started. Next week, how to apply these 5 rules to teams, relationships, and creative work. Comment system below. I'll send you the free 5-rule implementation checklist, PDF plus Notion template. And remember, you don't need more motivation. You need better structure. Build the system. Let it run. Watch what happens.